I stepped completely into my awareness now, my real self, that which oversees my body vehicles, and as my female transformation failed to have the effect I was seeking, I took other measures. Creational, manipulational defenses were initiated, and yet, even despite this, my body vehicle was destroyed. This may not have mattered, as if I was aware enough and my vehicle taken out, assuming I had the recognition, I'd simply gallivant off to maybe the real universes. Alas, it seems I didn't go where I expected. I found myself back in creation, and the physical level at that, in a new life, and in more mundane boringness. It's possible then that I was doing fine up until the last scene. I didn't engage, get involved in a battle and lose my focus, and perhaps, had I continued in this vein and simply allowed my demise, then I would have maybe not returned to creation, but evidently I utilized the psychic sciences, magics and such, to a degree, that I stepped out of the nowness, outside of my real self, and into my personal self, even though I had the objective view. And to be back with my personal self would have me back in creation, and the cause and effect laws apply, the effect being further lifetimes as the result of my magical dabblings, although the use of them was not frivolous. Seems there is rather a fine line, and easy to step over it, into the personal self and creation. Although I did retain full memory of what had occurred, and so was in a position where I would re-establish my connection to the ease, and proceed from where I left off, as I had full recall, and perhaps then would deal with the situation differently if similar were to occur again. It's a view and an experience, but in theory, if I have the awareness and am standing real and am the decider, then anything I do in creation along the lines demonstrated in this dream is just experience, and if my real intent is maintained and my focus fixed on the ears, cause and effect shouldn't apply. Suggests then I'm not quite there yet, and so I will still fall prey to cause and effect should situations as this come into my experience. Or it's simply another example of falling to the side due to getting embroiled in the fight, forfeiting the opportunity to be with the ears. Although this was a direct attack and not something I chose to become a part of, or perhaps a reminder, an over-exaggerated dream to instill the demonstration to not get involved in any confrontation on the physical level, as we all will get confrontation as we continue to share what we do, and if we engage emotionally, we step out of the nowness of the ears and are momentarily back in cause and effect creation, therefore, and have to realign ourselves resultingly. And if this becomes frequent, we can spiral off into the personal self with all its ideas and emotional outpourings, and may get lost again in our created selves. We become engaged in this kind of interaction and lose our focus with the inevitable cause and effect and tapline consequences. Dwayne provides a view. As you become more aware, you still have to deal with cause and effect creation, which is fine. This is where you have the confrontation when you present this to the world. It's a risk-taker position, but at the same time, this is how you become more aware. It's not being passive to where you go and hide out, and it's all about you. That's the personal self. This is where these passive paths, you might say, have failed. They work for a while, We all went through the babysitter stages, but it's a new day. It's a new time, and those old things don't work. People try to bring in the love idea and peace on earth, etc. That's cute, but deal with things realistically as they really are, and not just thinking that these things are going to take care of everything. That we will just spread the love, spread the peace, and love everything, etc. Creation is still cause and effect. You're still the effect of it, and you should become more aware and pay attention to the true reality. Love is usually the personal love idea, and the personal things we go through. Confronting these things, you become more adept, just like the adventures of James Bond and all the things that he goes through, from the adventure to the romance to getting the mission done, etc. This is what is so cool about now, and what I have been through too. I've been through all these things, and still having to deal with cause and effect. It's just how it is. But I step up and step into it, completely step into it, to do what we're doing, because there is a bigger picture here, and that is the demise of the world overall. Getting past that personal self, where it's just about you, the me thing, to where you want to save yourself, etc. In these situations, yes, you learn, but we're doing the bigger picture here, with what's going on with the planet, the solar system, and the galaxy, because we have black holes here, and it's sucking it all up. In the meantime, you're going through these experiences and learning. So it's not just popping into the real universes, it's actually a purpose, and a real purpose, while we're here, to provide something real. This is where we really become more aware, right here, through whatever is going on right now, and facing the challenge. So doing that, and when stepping up, you will be bothered by others, even old friends, and sometimes family, unless your family has an understanding, which is lucky. Most don't. Mine have displaced themselves because they want nothing to do with me. They like their personal self, but they don't see where they are at and where the world is. Stepping up and sharing the ease will get confrontation. A lot of people are thinking how they don't want to get taplined, to be hassled, chased, and have the reptilians coming after them. But guess what? The whole place is full of them, and you're going to have to face it, because running from them is not going to do it, as there is no place to hide. And the guides can't back you unless you step up and have the courage to do something real. Then they can back you, and that becomes your automatic protection. Then they start taking care of the tap lines. But if you go hide away, and it's all about you, and you don't want to be bothered, then you just gather dust, and so they can't do anything, because you haven't stepped up. This is the time. With what I'm doing on the real side, there's a much bigger picture going on here. This is the big surprise. Much, much bigger, because this planet, the solar system, is in huge jeopardy. And most people don't see it while they are walking around doing their little personal lives and doing the business world, etc. Again, 100% human farming here. There is no la-la land, so you better figure it out right now, or you go into future lifetimes of even worse situations that are even more boring. And so become a rebazar risk taker with us, and become more aware and self-sufficient. Sing new you, and see for yourself. On the real side life is, and learn to earn your real freedom into the real universes of the true reality life is. No more restrictions or authorities ever. No.